Aloha, alafia, and welcome everybody to your new moon in Virgo reading. This reading is for 9/6. New moon is going to be at 2:52 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time at 15 degrees of Virgo. As with all new moons, this is the beginning, the birthing of something. And this new moon really has a lot of trineful energy, so a lot of supportive energy. We have a grand trine in the air signs, so this is a lot of energy around hopes, inspiration, movement, ideas. And with it being in the sign of Virgo, we're really preparing for our harvest, right? It's the sixth sign of the zodiac, so we're halfway through. What we started in Aries season is ready to be potentially birthed. It is time to look at the harvest. We are in September, coming up on Libra season, coming up on Mabon. And Virgo brings that energy of preciseness, of clarity, of these tangible new outcomes that allows you to take these next steps to bring and birth into the world what you're kind of desiring, what you've been working for. Maybe you've had a project that you've been working on since Aries, and this season is the season now to bring it out to the world, to ground it in the earth and actually make it a reality. We also have a lot of support right now. Again, those trines. We have Mars trining Pluto in retrograde. That's our movement and our action. We have Venus trining Jupiter in retrograde, and that's our expansion, potentially even an expansion in money, which helps to then bring these things to fruition for us. And then we have the Sun trining Uranus retrograde, which is where your energy is coming from, where this great new ideas and this expansion that Jupiter brings, and all of these beautiful actionable energies that our personal planets and our outer planets are working with us. It is also a big mind-body connection and a lot of earth and air energy this month. So really fun. Let's go ahead and get started. The very first question, which routine should be evaluated at this time? So the first card that came up, and it is raining right now all on me. Blessings on blessings. First question, which routine should be evaluated at this time? And the card that came out was the Ouroboros. This is from the Mystical Dream Tarot. I'll make sure to put all descriptions and links to the decks below in the description box. The Ouroboros in normal tarot would be the Wheel of Fortune. In this deck, however, it signifies change, just like the Wheel of Fortune normally does. But this author and the creator, the artist, really took liberties to talk through healthy change. As you can see here in the middle, there's a beautiful triangle, which represents for this deck the Trinity of Time. That is your past, your present, and future. And you'll see throughout this reading, we actually have a lot of past, present, and future cards represented. So with the Ouroboros here, there are routines that we have might be stuck in right now that is a product of ignorance. It's a product of destructive cycles that we don't need to be in. So if you're looking at which routines need to be evaluated, it's going to be the ones that lie in deceit. And that can be deceit that you've given yourself, you have deceived others, or others have deceived you. Sometimes when we put effort, money, and energy into something, a routine, a daily habit, and we've dedicated a lot of energy and we have a emotional connection to what we're doing, it can be really challenging to break that apart and to break that cycle. Even if we know and we've been told and we've heard family and friends and loved ones go, you know, this isn't serving you anymore. Even if you yourself have been like, you know, this just isn't serving me anymore, but who am I without this? Who am I if I don't show up to this class every Wednesday night? You know, I've created my identity around this. And if you have habits like that are coming up for you, now is a beautiful, supportive time to look at that and to start creating that healthy change. Maybe it's not about that anymore, and it's about transitioning it into something that is more reflective of who you are today. A lot of these destructive cycles that we have, that the Ouroboros talks about, is because of our own making. And again, that can be a really hard pill to swallow when you have to look at yourself in the mirror, when you have to look at your family and your, you know, social structure, your friends, your loved ones, and go, yep, I totally made the decision to do this, and that led me, or that led us down a path that didn't work. We're going to have to recalibrate. We're going to have to go back and to take ownership and accountability of that. But that is what is being asked of you right now. That is what routines need to be evaluated and let go of for you to be able to create the space to move forward and to serve who you are now. Second question, what changes need to be made to support physical health and well-being? Virgo, again, all about that body, the body-mind connection. So what changes need to be made to support physical health and well-being? We got two cards here. The first one, the Eight of Pentacles. The second, the Two of Cups. So the Eight of Pentacles talks about seeing clearly. It talks about finding what's beneath the surface. So here you have this eternal flame kind of lighting this sparkling energy with the frog here. And there's a lot that is not manifested yet in reality. There's a lot of spiritual energy throughout this reading. A lot of what is going on in the head, right? We are in Virgo season, Mercury, a lot of thinking, and a lot of ideas in the head that now need to come down and into fruition here. They need to become grounded in reality. So the changes that need to be made that support physical health and well-being, you are probably getting messages in different ways. That could be from dreams. It could be from like just hearing songs being played, synchronicities. Maybe you continue to see this thing pop up, or you hear people talk about, let's just say yoga is an easy example. You've never done yoga before. It sounds interesting. And now all of a sudden, everywhere you go, yoga, 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 everything is coming up with yoga. And you're like, okay, maybe I should be paying attention to this. This is that kind of flame starting to burn that desire within you, starting to feel it. And then the Two of Cups comes in and grounds it in your reality. It's saying, the Two of Cups here is really saying it's time to get out of your dreams and fantasies. It's time to release any unreal expectations that you have. It's time to move beyond that, and it's time to bring it down, and it's time to actually take action with the things that you're saying and the messages that you're getting as it comes to your physical health and well-beings. The other thing with the Eight of Pentacles that came through, and especially with the Two of Cups here, which in this deck actually does talk about kind of those unreal expectations. So that kind of conglomerate of commercial endeavors, unhealthy patterns, watch out for those. Do what honors you. Maybe the Atkins diet isn't for you. Maybe a structured diet isn't for you. You've tried that. You've gone down that path. You've felt all of that energy heating you up from the inside. You've had these unreal expectations, right? You see all these Instagram stories of, look, I did this and I got thin quick, or I, built all of this muscle, or I lost all of this body fat. Know what's realistic in the expectations that you're trying to set, and watch out for those commercial endeavors. More than likely what you are being called to, if you really sat and again, you're getting these messages, you're probably being called to balance somewhere in the middle of that, right? Eating healthy for you. What does that look like for you? That could take time and energy to discover what that is, and discover what foods really work for you and what foods don't. But you have to be willing to invest that time and energy to get to what is your optimal health, not this commercialized, idealized version of that. So that's the other message that came through is, maybe it's more about what you need and what your body needs, and taking information from a lot of different areas that are really valuable, but then bringing it back to you and how it works for you. All right, next question. What action can be taken to process thoughts and ideas more effectively? And we got temperance. So temperance in this deck is exactly the same. There's very few cards in this deck that have the same name. This is one of them. And in this deck, though, temperance really talks about accepting your challenges. Here she is, really in this embodiment of Virgo energy. She has the sun and the moon here, finding balance in the middle between the two. She's harvesting her rose garden. She accepted the challenge. Roses, for any of you that have ever grown roses or have been around rose bushes, they're not the easiest things to tend to, right? They have a lot of thorns. It does take a lot of work and a lot of energy to cultivate a rose garden and to keep the roses blooming in all of their gloriousness, right? Roses can be very spectacular and also very finicky. So temperance has accepted that challenge, and she's prepared to do what it takes. So when we think about the question, what actions can be taken to process our thoughts and ideas more effectively during this time, it's be prepared. That's how you move your ideas forward. Utilize the Virgo energy. Write it down. Take your idea, write it down, write a pro and cons list. Write down the natural steps that it's going to take in order to get there. Write down your timeline. Break it into small little goals. Figure out what it's going to take for you to achieve that, and if you're willing to do all of the work necessary to get there. And know, just like a rose garden, it's not going to be overnight. It is going to take time. You are going to have to nurture your dreams, what you want to manifest in this life, your ideas. They have to be nurtured. And that's how you can really use this energy right now, especially during this moon cycle, to take action on the things that you want to take action on. Another message that came through is when you're processing your thoughts and ideas, this card also talks about letting go of hardened beliefs, letting go of habitual stories that we subscribe to, that we tell ourselves, that we say, yep, this is 100% me. This is all I've ever been. It may be time to rethink a lot of those and allow for creativity and flexibility to come in and work its magic within you. That's where we could find a lot of these expansive ideas, right? Utilizing Jupiter to its most potent potential, utilizing Uranus to shake up those and electrify those thoughts that we get stuck into and break them apart and get them out of here. Utilizing the fact that Mercury on this new moon starts its shadow zone in Libra, and allowing us to rethink, reprocess, reorganize where we're at. So you can really harness these energies right now to begin to accept the challenge, start to take action using Mars in trining Pluto retrograde to really start to bring forward the ideas that are going to take you on this beautiful new journey, this new birthing energy that you're bringing in. Next question, what action can be taken to gain emotional clarity? And we have the Six of Swords. So the action that can be taken to gain some emotional clarity is look at everything that's being offered. And when I talk about what's being offered, look at all, you know, this king here is playing chess, right? Look at all of the pieces on the table. Spread all of your ideas out, right? Use temperance to really go through each and every idea and lay out what it's going to take, and then spread all those ideas on the table and contemplate what the next move is. All of your ideas may be valid, but what order should they go in? What can be done simultaneously? What needs to be done first? What then, after this is completed, what can then I start next? There is a big sense of transition here all throughout this reading, and even new moon in Virgo plus Mabon coming up. This is a time of transformation, and there's tension here, right? There's this fire brewing underneath here. Not everything's being revealed yet. So even the best laid plans need to have an element of flexibility to them, because as you start to work and as things start to manifest and as you start to go forward with these ideas and these actions that you're going to be taking, even if that's just in your physical health or whether that's a project for, you know, your business or whatever that looks like for you, there is going to be things that are going to pop up that you're going to have to navigate. And that can be, you know, neutral energy. It could be challenging energy. It could be very opportunistic energy, but it might show up in a way you didn't think. And that's what the Six of Swords is really here is, you know, as you're starting to look through and get emotionally, you know, your vision here, it's like, okay, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to move forward with this. Know that patience is also needed. Know that things aren't all here yet, but that doesn't mean you can't start. You can start laying that foundation. You can start making the moves necessary. You can start observing your chessboard and seeing what maneuvers you're going to make, deciding what plays you're going to go forward with down the line. Next question, what next steps need to be taken during this moon cycle to reap a bountiful harvest? And 3 cards wanted to come out. So the first one is the Ten of Swords. The next one is the Wise Fox, or in modern tarot would be Death. And the last one is Lord of Pentacles. And this is a really beautiful story happening right here. So what are the steps during this moon cycle that we need to take in order to have our harvest, this bountiful harvest that we all want? And the short and quick of it is, you have to allow things to die in order for new things to be birthed. It is a letting go of what didn't work. It's a letting go, again, going back to the Ouroboros, right? The routines that needed to be evaluated. Those routines are not working anymore, and which ones do you need to let go of in order to bring in a new harvest, in order to bring in the new things that are here for you. The Ten of Swords has this really beautiful depiction. Again, here is another trinity, past, present, and future, just like the Ouroboros. So another thing that you could look into is connection with the ancestors. There is a high intuitive connection here. Go in, talk to your ancestors, channel in that energy, understand maybe they have answers for you. They can obviously see way farther and way deeper than we can, and that might help to guide you. Again, when we talk about the Eight of Pentacles, right? Things are happening in the dream world. Things are happening in the spirit world, and it's time to now bring that in. So that's where the messages and maybe some understandings that you might be still struggling with can be found. And the Ten of Swords also then goes straight into the Wise Fox by looking at the past, present, and future, right? Be guided. Be guided to what no longer is good for you, right? The fox here, death is a challenging process. Nobody says it's easy. Nobody's like, yes, transformation, woo, I'm going to just ride through this on a chariot. I'm going to have the gold. I'm going to have grapes, wines here. We're going to relax. No, most transformation requires you to have a letting go of something, an emotional detachment, a removal. And that can be very hardening. It can be a time of deep reflection. It can be a time of introspection, and it can be a time of loneliness and understanding who is in your circle, right? Again, going back to the ancestors, who is there to support and guide you, and who can you rely on when you're having those moments of letting go of what didn't work, of coming to terms with the fact that maybe you chose something that wasn't good, and how to embrace that vulnerability and who to embrace it with. Because through the process and transformation of death, there are people that you can lean on for that. And if not, and this is a solo journey for you, great. Then rely on the spirit world, rely on your Ori, rely on your guides to get you through. And then we come to the Lord of Pentacles, because the Lord of Pentacles, this is the King of Pentacles. This is everything that we want. This is, I know what to do with this. I know where to put this. I know how to bring this into the earth, and I know how to make this stick for me. And that's the energy of not being afraid to act on your dreams, not being afraid to honor your past, but not be stuck there, to let go of that past, to honor it by giving it the death that it so rightly deserves, and then moving forward into the future and taking action, right? Mars energy, Mars trining Pluto retrograde. Take that action on those dreams. Still do your due diligence, but it's going to be really hard if you're clogged with all of this other energy of like, all right, well, but I want to really hold on to all of these things, even though I know it's not for me. That is a clog that has to be let go. Let it go down the drain, so that way all this new fresh energy, all these new ideas, all these new bountiful harvests can come in for you, and you can then proceed forward with what that next step is for you. All right, guidance card. We have 29, two. I was told to draw two. So we have 29, the world, and the third chakra, Archangel Shamuel. And this was two really beautiful energies that really just ties up this reading wonderfully. So I am going to use, this is the energy oracle cards. Again, all descriptions will be below. I am going to read the affirmations in here because, again, I'm a big believer in affirmations. They can really help during this next moon cycle as you go through that transformative process, as you start to ground into these new ideas. So the world is all about expansion and opening up. This card is reminding you to expand your vision and contemplate some much broader options. The world is wide, so there's a lot out there to consider. In the modern age of technology, this could specifically be referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you. And now is the time to think big. Think big. As they say, the world is your oyster, so get ready to gobble it up. The affirmation is, my life expands into boundless horizons with unlimited, powerful energy. A world of possibilities is open to me now. And then coming over to the third chakra, Archangel Shamuel, emotions of desire and life force energy. So this is your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus chakra, which is the center of your life force. The issues here revolve around emotions of desire and your personal energy. It indicates that an increased enthusiasm is present or soon to be on its way. This is a great time to move towards the completion of your desires. Your life force is vibrating with powerful resonance, and your soul is calling you to direct your energy in a focused, purposeful manner. This angel of power is with you now, so go for it. And the affirmation, my third chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state. I radiate a bright and vibrant life force energy, and I feel excitement for all that I do. Thank you so much for joining me on this new moon in Virgo reading. September, I'm super excited. We'll be doing 3 readings this month. So we've got the new moon on 9/6. Coming up on 9/20 will be the full moon. And then we have Mabon coming in. So I will be doing a special Mabon reading as well. So thank you so much. Everything is in the description box. If you enjoyed this reading, found value on it, or value in it, excuse me, make sure to subscribe and share with your friends. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Aho, namaste, ashe.